What are your thoughts on the EV tax credit? Is that something that's a wise thing? And then what do you think overall about spending a couple of $100 billion on reducing emissions and becoming more energy independent at the same time? It seems like a laudable strategy to you?
Nope, seems like a total waste of money.
Okay, but, unpack it, please.
The EV tax credit is just giving away money to EV car manufacturers. There's already enough demand. The prices are low enough. There's enough consumer interest. There's enough consumer intent. I don't think you need to put this money out there. It distorts a market that's already functioning well. And this goes back to my point about the role of, government and how we create incentives or spend money. This is not a place we need to be spending money because there isn't an absolute need. There's no data that indicates that this will accelerate a transition to a carbon-free economy or that it's even needed. It really is a point of view that people hold, and they believe that EVs are good. They're good for climate change. We should accelerate it. Therefore, we should spend money on it, without any accountability or proof that these tax credits will actually motivate a market to move faster or quicker than it is already moving. And so it is just spending taxpayer dollars that could theoretically not be spent, or be spent in a more effective way to improve the lives of people broadly in this country. So yeah, I don't fully agree with it. I haven't seen any data that tells me this makes sense.
Anecdotally, you don't think $7,500 off a $75,000 EV is attractive?
I don't think the EVs are $75,000. GM and others have great low-priced EVs, and there's a ton of market demand, and they can't keep up with production. And giving people $7,500 off a car that manufacturers are still struggling to keep up with making because there's so much demand already, you don't need to do it. It is so much cheaper to drive an electric vehicle now by plugging this thing in than spending money on gas, that people already want to buy these things. They pay for themselves super fast. Every consumer wants to save money on transportation, and you will save money by buying an electric vehicle. So you will already buy an electric vehicle. You don't need government money to get you to buy an electric vehicle.
To Friedberg's point, there was a lot of analysis that's been done on consumer adoption patterns. And typically for a new good or service, the tipping point is around 5% mass market adoption from when it goes from early adopters to the mass market. And EVs just cross 5%. So to his point, the historical data would tell you that we're now past the critical point where it's no longer questionable. Now it's just going to happen. So
it's not early adopters. We're getting to the mass market.
Now it's mass market.